आवाज दिल की, म्यूजिक की, सोच की और आपकी आवाज।
औज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम, बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम। सामाइन, जैसा कि हमने ऐलान किया था कि सुबह आज हमारे मुख्तलिफ ममालिक से मेहमान होंगे। पहले आप हमारा प्रोग्राम सुनते रहे और हम आपकी फ़ोन कॉल लेते रहे, लेकिन इस प्रोग्राम में हम आपकी फ़ोन कॉल नहीं लेंगे, चूँकि ये एक इन्फॉर्मेशन का प्रोग्राम है, वो हम आपके साथ शेयर करेंगे। सामाइन, हमारे साथ इस वक्त जर्मनी की फ़ज़ाओं से एक ऐसी शख्सियत जो हमें ज्वाइन कर रही हैं, ये पार्लियामेंटेरियन है, समीना खान इनका नाम है। इस वक्त जर्मनी की फ़ज़ाओं से कोपेनहेगन की फ़ज़ाओं में आपके साथ हैं। उनकी आवाज़ हम सुनेंगे, वो प्यारी प्यारी आवाज़ जो जर्मनी से निकलेगी यहाँ कोपेनहेगन की फ़ज़ाओं में और सारी दुनिया में ये फैलेगी। तो समीना खान साहिबा, हम आपको कोपेनहेगन की फ़ज़ाओं में और अदारा आपकी आवाज़ के स्टूडियो में खुश आमदीद कहते हैं।
शुक्रिया बहुत बहुत।
समीना जी, हम आपसे गुजारिश करेंगे कि यहाँ डेनमार्क में और आप ख़ुद यूरोप में रहती हैं कि यहाँ अपना तारफ़ जो है वो ख़ुद ही करवाना पड़ता है। अगर आप मुख्तसर से अपना तारफ़ करा दें, आप क्या करती रही, कहाँ तक तालीम हासिल की, आप मौजूदा आप क्या कर रही हैं ताकि प्रोग्राम को आगे बढ़ाएं।
जी, मैंने इधर जर्मनी में मैं पैदा हुई हूँ और यहाँ पली बड़ी हूँ, और इस वक्त मैं लेफ्ट पार्टी के साथ हूँ, यहाँ की जो डी लिंक कहलाती है, और उसकी यहाँ की जो प्रोविंशियल पार्लियामेंट की एक हिस्सा हूँ। हमारी पार्टी काफ़ी नई पार्टी है और हम इस वक्त काफ़ी काम कर रहे हैं, ख़ास तौर पे जो टॉपिक्स हैं सोशल जस्टिस और इक्वालिटी, और यहाँ जो मसले मसाइल हैं कम्युनिटीज़ के, उनके बारे में भी। तो एक हमने कैंपेन, और एक जो यहाँ बहुत बड़ा मसला बन रहा है वो है यहाँ की जो अहमदी जमात है, जिसके बारे में आम तौर पे यहाँ बहुत अच्छी ओपिनियन है, लोग उनको काफ़ी अच्छा माना जाते हैं। तो उसके बारे में हमें काफ़ी चीज़ें मालूम पड़ी हैं कि वो जो बज़ाहिर हैं वो रियलिटी में ऐसे है नहीं है, और काफ़ी मसले मसाइल जो हैं इस चीज़ के बारे में अब डिस्कस पब्लिकली हो रहे हैं।
बहुत शुक्रिया जी। हम चलते हैं जनाब असलम अलीपुरी साहब से, वो आपसे जो है ना माइक हम उनके हवाले करते हैं।
अस्सलाम वालेकुम मिसेस समीना, एंड आई वेलकम यू इन डेनमार्क on the behalf of radio and TV आपकी आवाज़।
Thank you very much.
I would like to know something about your campaign. I have heard about your campaign, and it's about human rights, women rights. You are fighting against discrimination and cruelty, criminality, and you are supporting equality, and you are supporting social justice and so on. So I want to ask you, how do you manage as a woman? How do you manage so many aspects, so many sides of the lives you are fighting for?
Well, sometimes it's not easy, but I think you can arrange your day, and you have to be very organized, but still you can manage to be a wife and to be a mother and to be someone who works in a German party and wants to do something for social justice and social equality. It is possible.
It's very surprising, and especially we love the campaign by women, because women, they are not so much active in our societies, and when we are active, so we like to support them, and we like their efforts, and we apparently like your efforts, and we support your cause because you have a very beautiful cause, fighting for oppressive people. Now I'm coming to another question, and that is about I have read about your campaigns about Ahmadis. These are very apparently gentlemen, and why you are fighting against these peoples, and why do you think that it's not to be as they are looking? I mean, I wish to know something about their ins and outs. Some you have got experienced in your life.
My first experience with Ahmadis was during the campaign when they were trying to build a mosque in Dietzenbach. In the beginning, I was very much surprised how friendly they are and how they deal with people at the outer surface. then I had contact with many Ahmadi, ex-Ahmadi and still Ahmadi active people, especially women, who had very bad experiences in this Jamaat, and I always thought that they are very much helped and they are very much supported, and they have their own family centers and counseling, but it wasn't like this. The first initial contact was with a woman who had massive problems with this Jamaat. Then I started a campaign because the women's shelter organizations in our area told me that there are increasing numbers of women who want to seek shelter here because they are humiliated and abused at in their homes. And after I made this internal statistic public that there is an increasing number of Pakistani origin women, Ahmadi origin women, I had to face many criticism, and people were really annoyed, especially those from the Ahmadi Jamaat. And I had to deal with these criticisms, and sadly, after 2 weeks, the women's shelter was on fire. There was a fire, and police is still investigating. We don't know what happened there. But from then on, I started realizing that there is something wrong with this Jamaat, that there is at some point they are not that friendly they are showing to be. If you agree with them, if you go along with them, and if you always say, yes, you're a good Jamaat, then they are very friendly with you. But when you start criticizing them and pointing out their mistakes and their very violent face, then they are not that friendly. And from then on, I started investigating. I have also contact with people who are linked to Pakistan, and they had people who did come out of this Jamaat and started talking. So we took oaths from them, and they had to tell us what happened to them in that Jamaat. And after this thing, I really started to think that this group is a criminal organization and is based on fascist structures, because after knowing what is really happening behind the surface, behind the veil, one cannot be very positive minded towards this group, because this group is very organized, and especially what the human rights of the members, of those who are standing at the lower stage in the Jamaat, who are not functionaries, they are systematically abused and systematically mishandled. So I think we should have a better and inner focus on this Jamaat, which is, I think, nowadays the most dangerous Jamaat I know.
Mrs. Samina Khan, it is really very shocking fact that you told me that they have set fire. I think
I cannot say if they did that, but it is not the first time that someone tells me that whenever someone criticizes them, that afterwards either their cars or their lives are damaged or their institutions are damaged. That's a typical behavior of a group who did that also in Pakistan, and they did that in Europe as well. So from then on, I started thinking about that fact, whether it might be them. If it is like this, there must be some other evidence. And after listening to all other people, I came to the conclusion that this fire, this is not a coincidence, that this fire was set.
Mrs. Samina Khan, I think let us go a little further. And I think the best thing is if someone is relative telling about relatives, so to coming some facts out of his talking. I'm sure you have heard about Fozia. She is the cousin of their so-called Caliph Mirza Masroor Ahmad, and she has come out of this cult. And I have read and I have heard about Mirza Masroor and Fozia. Have you got any contact with Mrs. Fozia, or have you heard this story? Will you please tell us about it?
Yes. Mrs. Fozia Faizi is in contact with me, and we've been in contact via email, via telephone, and via other media. And what she told me was also very shocking. In Germany, you have a saying, the fish stink from Kopf. The fish starts stinking from the head. So I think that the whole structural problem within the Ahmadi movement or Ahmadi Jamaat is the head. They have Khalifas who are not really spiritual, are not really religious or anything. They're just making a big company. They're running a big company and are benefiting from their members. And within this community, there's a lot of crime. And especially within this community, there are people who are supported in their crime. So I came to the conclusion that there is systematic crime in this Jamaat. Because to be very effective, they also need a group who is violent and makes the violent attacks, so they can get further. If there is some criticism in the society, so I think that this is all arranged. This is all set within the Jamaat. That if the people are friendly, they are nice, they get on with them friendly, and if not, then they start making violent attacks. Fozia Faizi had a very bad experience. She's talking also about sexual abuse, that these people do not have anything to do with moral and morality. What she is saying is that they systematically abused her and part of her members. And what she says to those people who want to leave this Jamaat, just get out of this Jamaat and run away as far as you can, because this movement is a very psychologically very dangerous to those people who are in there, and for the society it will become also a big risk.
Mrs. Samina Khan, in our religion, paradise lies under the feet of women. So a woman has a big respect in Islam. But sexually abusing, it's not only Islam, it's in every religion, every society, every country, it is forbidden. So it is shocking for us to listen about this sexual abuse. Although there are many books written about Khalifa's sexual abuse, and they were claimed also so many things. I don't want to go on this thing, but really it is very, very, very shocking for us. I would like to ask you about the peoples they bring out of the country with different excuses, and especially women. Will you please tell us about these women or about these people, if you know something? How do they bring out, and especially there are so many they have brought in Germany. So how they are doing this systematically, and how they are taking women? Did you meet any of the women which was a victim of these people?
The first question I want to answer, that one Ahmadi told me that there is a systematic way to bring people to Europe via human trafficking and also via false visas. They have their people who bring them along, and we have here in Germany a case, a functionary of this Jamaat is accused of human trafficking, and we also know that one brother of a Khalif was in jail in Pakistan for 5 years for human trafficking. So there is a systemized crime in this section within this Jamaat. And from the other hand, treatment of women, one Ahmadi told me, that is their internal statistics, of course they are not going to bring it out, that their marriage divorce rate is 50% nearly in the Jamaat, because they often force women to get married because they want to bring their members to Europe and get them settled. So this is a way to get a bigger population in Europe. And also Europe is very important for them because they benefit from Europe. They have a social system here. If you get asylum, and they do get systematically asylum from German government, they can give a percentage to this Jamaat, which is sometimes nearly up to 50%. And from this money, they can build mosques here in Europe. So they have a big, they're getting bigger every day through basically governmental help. So I think the government should be aware of that this money they are giving to the asylum seekers is not benefiting them. They go to the Jamaat, and which systematically abuses the people and gets them under pressure. If you don't pay this sort of chanda and this sort of amount to our Jamaat, we are not going to give you a certification and you're not going to get your asylum passed. Many people do leave this Jamaat when they are out of this visa pressure, but they have their systems to get them back. Girls are not allowed to marry Muslim men. They are only allowed to marry Ahmadi men. They really get pressures from everywhere. If they want to get married, that they are followed, they are misused and abused. We have got cases here. We have also a murder case from a Ahmadi man who had he killed his daughter because she left the Jamaat and married a Muslim man. And also what I found is that if you have a good position in this Jamaat, you're getting everything. That's like in the society. If you've got money and you've got a status, you get everything easily. And within the Jamaat, if you're poor and you don't have a good status, no one will help you. And even if a woman is abused, that's what my experience is. This woman came from another city from Germany, and she married someone here in Dietzenbach who is son of a functionary. And she was around 35 kgs, and he told her that I'm going to mishandle you that way that you are going to jump from the balcony. So he's going to mistreat her psychologically, treat her that way that she's going to jump from the balcony. Then when I started helping her, I talked with the Jamaat functionaries, and I said, this is my duty. If I see a woman is psychologically misbehaved like this, she's 1.65 meters and she is only 35 kgs, and if she is going to get further thinner, then she will die, and her husband should stop abusing her. And you are the Jamaat who brings these people here, and you're the father of this guy is a functionary in this Jamaat. You should help this woman. They did not do anything. Many weeks they did not do anything because he had power within the Jamaat. So this Jamaat is only a fake system, only benefits those who have already power and have got money in this society and have got a reputation. Those people who are poor and those people who don't have many means to get justice, they don't get justice also in this Jamaat. So they always try to propagate that they're a good Jamaat, we love all, we don't hate anyone. That's not true. That's only the outer surface, and it has nothing to do with the reality, what is happening within this Jamaat and what is happening with people who do criticize this Jamaat.
Do you mean that they are just money grubbers? And it's very funny, Mrs. Samina, that we have got different sects in Islam, for example, Sunni, Shia, Wahhabi, so and so. But no one, it's not like that. If I'm Sunni and if I'm not paying subscription to the Jamaat, they will say, we exclude you, we expel you from the Jamaat because you are not paying money. In Shia, it's not like that. If one Shia is not paying to the Jamaat, that you are not paying, so you are not anymore Shia, so you get out from Shia. So it's not, but it's in Ahmadi cult, it's very funny that if one is paying subscription, it's all right. He or she will get every benefits. But if he or she is not paying, so they expel her or him from the Jamaat. So it's very funny, and it's happening everywhere. I know so many cases. And it's also very funny that if they are converting Muslims to Ahmadiyya, so-called Ahmadiyyat, Marzaiyat or Qadianiyat, if they are converting, it's okay. But if we are raising our voice and if we are helping the people to listen what is a fact about Ahmadiyyat, Ahmadi Jamaat, so they get angry. This is everywhere, not in Germany, everywhere. We have got bitter experience of this. I would like to ask about one thing, that why don't we get officially support? They are getting officially support from every country, I assure you, but we do not get officially support. And if we have got something, for example, if we write articles, if we are complaining something, if something is going done against Ahmadi Jamaat, so these people, I mean official, they don't pay attention to what is going to be in the society. Do you agree with me?
Well, for this answer, I just have to cover a little picture. In the beginning, it was very interesting for the West to support the Ahmadi Jamaat towards the mainstream Muslims, because it was for political reasons. They said, this Jamaat is obeying us, they are doing everything we want, so it is better to have a Jamaat who is very much from the outer service, very much friendly towards the German or European society. That's what was the initial thought. That's the same thing what the West did with Taliban. They said they are our partners in saving Afghanistan, or they're our partners against Russia, so we have to support Taliban. That's the same thing with the Ahmadis. They're saying, well, they are our partners in many things. They are our allies. So I think we should. There was an official policy. We should support the Ahmadi Muslims. They call themselves Ahmadi Muslims.
But question is that
but
I'm sorry.
Yes, I know the Ahmadi Jamaat movement. That's what they said. That was their official political strategy. The thing is, also it came out what happened with Taliban, that they made Taliban stronger, and at the end they became also a headache for them. That's the same thing with the Ahmadi movement. They made them strong through government support, through ignoring that this group has got his long-term tasks to have power, and they ignored that this group is a violent movement, and that they already did many crimes from where they came, and where the Pakistani government gave them land for lease, and where they systematically did crimes against humanity. And that was Rabwa, today called Chenabnagar. Nowadays, I think they have got good marketing advisors. They are marketing themselves as something which they are not. They are saying we have love for all and hatred for nobody. They're saying we can sweep your roads after New Year, and we are very much for democracy, and we are very much for human rights and freedom, and for women's rights, and so on. But if the governments were aware of what was happening in the countries where they have power and they have established, they would not have thought that way. In Germany, small groups like Hizb ut-Tahrir, or some Turkish Muslim movements, or some other radicals are observed from the German secret services, which is their right, because they want to save their country. They don't want any terror. But what they did is not to observe the Ahmadi movement. They did not observe them, because they always said, yeah, we are your allies. And the problem is that now they are slowly becoming a headache also for this country, because their crimes against humanity, what they did in Rabwa, they are continuing these things. We have some oaths taken from those people who left the Jamaat. And those people who left the Jamaat made their statements, and they said that it's not that long ago, it's around 15 years ago. In Germany, they had their groups, they had their headquarters near Groß-Gerau, where they systematically abused people physically. They gave tortures to them. For instance, they did catch someone who did some mistake, which is not a crime in Germany. If you live in this country, for instance, homosexuality is not a crime, or anything which is not a crime in Germany, they systematically, within their Jamaat, abuse the people physically who did this sort of mistakes in this country. And it is not interesting at that moment what Islam says about this and what we think is right and wrong. We do live in a country and we have to obey rules and laws. We are not allowed to punish people within our own made rooms converted to jails. And this is a system within a system, which can become also very dangerous for Germany and Europe. So this means they have now supported a group which is slowly becoming a headache for them as well. Because it is not my point of view. There are so many people who are saying this from different countries where they are established how they behave, and often they do misbehave and do things against the laws. But these things, they try not to have any proofs which can be linked to them. A German, she's a professor of education at the Frankfurt University. She has died a few years ago, Mrs. Schröter. She said that this system, this group, is a mafia system. It has mafiotic structures, that they are on the outer surface, they're trying to be legal or to follow the law, and they claim to obey the law and be peaceful civilians. But from the inner side, they are doing everything to dismantle these countries because they want their own system, their own torture punishment system. Everything which is based in their community is based on punishment. People who don't give chanda are punished. People who do leave the Jamaat get punished. Women who do not obey to any sort of things get punished. Men who do not obey to any sort of things get punished. So this is, Hitler did that. Hitler or Mussolini did that. And that's where this thinking comes from. They were very much into Hitler and Mussolini's thoughts. They thought that what Hitler and Mussolini were doing was right. That is the thinking of their caliphs. So we should be very careful about this group, because we don't want to have a Hitler or Mussolini system again in Europe. So if we don't stop them in growing that fast and giving false arguments for their entrance into Europe, then we are going to lose. Especially the mainstream Muslims are going to lose, because they will not be able to live freely in that country.
Mrs. Samina Khan, thanks. You have told with the details how they are functioning and how they are living in the Germany. And it's very clear, you and me and every Muslim, we are not enemy to any Ahmadi or Ahmadi people, I mean women or men like that. But we have got sympathy for them because they are misused in their own system. This is bad luck, I think, because they can't live freely. They have to obey, they have to pay subscription, they have to. And this world have to. It is not found in Europe, especially in Europe. We are not to, you have to. We are free here. These are free countries, and we love these countries because of their freedom, because they are support to humanity. But when we are listening this word have to, you have to, you have to, so we are really we become very rising and I mean sentimental. How it happens in Europe? You have to, otherwise get out, otherwise expelled, otherwise boycott. No one is going to deal with you. So I'm sure that these Ahmadi Qadiani, they are unlucky people, because when they were living in India, and they have Mirza Ghulam Muhammad Qadiani, he has started this cult. So he was against the Punjabis. He was living in Punjabi. He was against the Sikh. They are, if you read the books of Mirza Ghulam Muhammad Qadiani, they are against Sikhs. They have abused Sikhs. They are against Hindus. They have abused Hindu. They are against Christians. They have abused. They have called names to the Christians. They are against Jesus Christ. He has abused Jesus Christ. Believe me, if there is one convention, and if we recite from his books to these European peoples, what did he say about European peoples? What did he say about Jesus Christ? What did he say about Christians, Muslims, Hindus and Sikhs and so on and so on? Believe me that these Ahmadis, they can't face. When they were in Punjab, they were against Punjabis, especially Mirza Ghulam Muhammad Qadiani, when fighting against colonialism. English people, they have occupied India, and Muslims and Hindus and Sikhs, they were fighting for their freedom. And freedom, it's very natural thing. You know it. In when this Berlin Wall was diminished, everyone in Germany and in the world was happy, because it was a sign of slavery. No one likes slavery. Even bird don't like slavery. If you take the bird out of the cage, it will fly, because it does not like slavery. Everyone hates slavery. But this is unlucky sect that loves slavery. So they have supported slavery in India, and they were against Indian. And Dr. Muhammad Iqbal and German learned people, intellectual people, they know Dr. Muhammad Iqbal, who was the thinker of Pakistan and who has got his education in Munich München University. So many Germans, they have written books about Dr. Muhammad Iqbal. He has written that these Ahmadis, so-called Ahmadis, actually they are Qadianis, they are against the country and against every religion, and especially they are against Christianity and Islam. So these are very unlucky people. Can't you convince the official people that if they were not, first they were living in Qadian, then they were expelled. I mean, they were so cruel against Punjabis, their Sikhs and Muslims, that they had to leave this place. And they came to Rabwa, which is called Chenab Nagar nowadays. I've been in Rabwa two times, and I know these people very well. And they were taking the intrigues against the government and Muslims of Pakistan, and then they left Pakistan also. Now they are settled in Germany and in Denmark, in England, and so many countries. But can't you convince the official peoples that if one is not faithful to his own roots, to his own country, to his own society, how that person can be faithful to Europe, to Germany, to Denmark, to England, and so on? You can't trust these people. Where is the intelligence of German? I know German has got a very strong intelligence. Where is the intelligence of German? Can't they find out that this cult, if it is not faithful to Pakistan, if it is not faithful to Muslim, if it is not faithful to Punjabis, and they are not faithful to themselves also, so how can be they faithful to Germany? Can you please convince these peoples on this topic? I'm sure it is the best topic that can be presented to these peoples, and they should hold special eyes on these peoples, how they are functioning in the society, what they are going to do with the women, how they are doing with the ex-Ahmadis. You know this Daniel Raza, and he has written so many things, and so many ex-Ahmadis, they have written so many things about their bitter experience. Can't you please convince your government and especially your intelligence services?
The thing is, what our campaign is about is not against humans or the persons who are in this Jamaat. It is against the structure and the thinking of the functionaries and the heads and all the ideology Ahmadiyat is about. because they do plant hatred in the hearts of even those people who are in the Jamaat. They are not trying to integrate them into the European society. They are disintegrating them. They do face many problems they do have through migration, and MD Jamaat does systematically make burdens on them and punishments on them, so these people cannot live a normal life and come to spirituality or to religion through themselves. They just want them to have obedience to their Khalif and have a chanda system and a money system going. I do think that this Jamaat has nothing to do with deeper religious and spiritualistic thoughts. I do think that it is only a trademark which is running to get more powerful. The point with the German government and the Germans are slowly getting aware of it. We are trying to convince them. We are trying to tell them that this group will be a big problem for Germany in future, and it is already a problem, because especially those things, for instance, this human trafficking which happened in Darmstadt-Bexbach. The policemen knew that this people are functionaries from the Ahmadi Jamaat, but they were not officially allowed to say that, because in Germany they have this problem. There is this individual crime, and to prove that there is an organized crime, there have to be much more evidence. But it is no coincidence that many functionaries of them have been involved in crimes and still are involved in crimes. We do have a person who was jailed in Germany for 5 years who made money laundering, and he told people within the Jamaat that this money laundering, he did that for the Jamaat, and but he had something in his hand. He said, if someone is going to expel me from the Jamaat, I'm going to tell the officials that the Jamaat was involved. Otherwise, he did take all the blame on himself and went into jail. And we had cases going on here with human trafficking and money laundering and many things which are connected with crimes, systemized crime, because they do benefit from those people who they try to bring into Germany. But Germany has a big problem if they systematically help them to settle down here, because the thinking which is behind Ahmadi Jamaat is not towards the society, is against the society. They're trying to change even the roots. They are not Democrats, otherwise they would not obey a Khalif. And this Khalif, if he says, yes, this is right, they do it's right. If he says, no, tomorrow you can set something on fire, they will do that, because they have written in their syllabus, which they when they educate their murabbis, those people who are made waqf to the Jamaat, who are spent to the Jamaat, they've written in their syllabus that these Muslims and Brahmins are thirsting for my blood, all are my enemies. And if they even start teaching young children in this way, in this attitude, what will these children become in the future if they have planted that hatred in themselves? So I think the German officials will react slowly. It was the official way of Germany not to do anything, because they thought that this group is a very reformistic and very progressive group. But if they would have made some investigations, they would have known this. But that's what they did not do. It was also due to the fact that many literature about Ahmadis is written in Urdu, and it's also a language barrier, and it has also something to do that many people who did come out of this Jamaat did not speak publicly. But now we have in Germany at least 5 or 6 people who've come from different cities. We have Fauzia Faizi, who is accusing Mirza Masroor Ahmad's family of sexual abuse. It's a big blame. I don't think a woman would come out with this if she is not right, because this is an issue and nobody wants to face him or herself with this kind of issue. So I think now the awareness, because she has also written a letter to a member of parliament in America, and she is trying to convince the officials there that this group is basically working against you in the underground. So why are you supporting them? Do you want your own system to get down? I don't know why they are supporting them, but that was the official statement, that this group is a reformistic group. They are very nice, very friendly. They are just missionating. That's what the Catholic Church also does, and they were trying to compare them with the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church had, if they had some scandals, they were forced by law, or they were forced by the society they live in to change themselves. In Ahmadi Jamaat, there was no outer pressure to change themselves. There was no group who was actively in this society who had a big voice to say what they are doing, and what they're doing is against humanity. They always said that the poor Ahmadi people are pursued in Pakistan, and Pakistan is bad, and the Pakistani people are bad, and the Pakistani culture is bad. But the thing is, Pakistan did not made a law against them because they were not there, because they had a different theology or a theological point of view. They made a law against them because they were involved in destroying the country within. They were involved in trying to dismantle some politicians, and they were involved in making violent attacks in Pakistan. That's what they did in Rabwa, and what they did in those cities where people came out of the Jamaat is extremely against humanity, and that's why Pakistan was forced to make a stand, because this is not Islamic behavior. So you cannot say that this group has something to do with Islam anymore, because Islam does not punish you if you don't give money to the Jamaat. Small things like this. So I think the theological point of view, this is a different point of view. We should not criticize someone who has some other views on his religion, because we have also Hindus, and we have in Europe, we do have Christians and many other minorities. That's not the point. They can think whatever they want. From our point of view, it's wrong, but that's what the law allows, and that's what democratic system is all about. Everyone can think about positively about his own religion, but the thing is, a religion should not be allowed to make systemized crimes or crimes against humanity. It should not be allowed to make some sort of intrusion or get into a country and trying to manipulate their judges or manipulate the police and manipulate the upper politicians to get a hold and the power in this country. This is not right. What they did is, they're trying to get to people who have some influence in this country or in Europe. They're going to politicians, they're going to judges, they're going to European parliaments, and trying to influence these people so that they get a positive point of view and that they get a lobby within this parliament. But this is not the point how a politician should work. A politician should look at both sides. A judge should look at both sides of the community, against and pro. We do have people here who are really supporting them. For instance, there is a former judge even living here in Dietzenbach who lost their cases and now is very much involved in going to the Jamaat and bringing the Khalif to the European Parliament or approaching the German Parliament. He is a former judge. Even during his time when he was judge, he was involved in helping the Ahmadi Jamaat that much. That's how they work. They are manipulating and trying to convince those people who are in power and have some sort of authority so that they can get the inner structure at their side. And long term, they don't want this system. Democratic system is not the system what they are supporting. Their long-term task is to have the Khilafat and to have a Khalif who rules in a way that no one has the right of freedom and no one has the freedom of speech. So that is their long-term task. So we should be very careful if we don't do anything, if we don't inform us, we don't inform the politicians that we are allowing them to grow hair and change the system.
We assure you that every Danish will support you because you are working for the human rights and you are fighting against criminality. And we are, law-abiding people. We love the law of the country and we respect it. And we wish that our Ahmadi people, they will also respect this law. And we can't tolerate in Europe or any country discrimination with the women or with other other kind of thinkers. And we respect every idea, every religion, their belief. We respect, and we love human being, every human being. And we request to the Qadianis, Ahmadis, and they should also respect their law of the country. They should abide with the law of the country. So one thing that they have got misunderstanding, that they were declared as non-Muslims, infidels. They were not like that, one side. This was not one-sided. Their caliph was invited to the assembly, and now it is open. Nation Assembly has opened this. They have made one book about this, so everyone can have access to that. And they were declared after listening and criticizing their caliph, Mirza Tahir Hamid. And he was talking to assembly for 11 days. So it is not like that, that it was one-way traffic. Now we have got one offer, we Muslims. We are ready to come to Germany. We are ready to come to England. Everywhere where you want, just go in the court and we will make them declare non-Muslims from that court. So this is our offer everywhere. Also in Denmark, we have done so many times, and we offered them, if you are not satisfied, then come any court. We are ready to make discussion with you again. And inshallah, I'm as sure as death that that court will declare them non-Muslims. We are very happy. It's so nice of you being with us. And I wish that if you want to give some message to the Danish peoples, believe me, they are very nice peoples and they are law abider. They are helping always, charity and human rights. So I wish you, if you give any message to the Danish people, please.
I think Danish people should be very much aware from that point of view that, for instance, someone gets asylum in Denmark. They do look if he is really pursued. But we do have in Germany or in other countries the fact that when an Ahmadi member of Ahmadi Jamaat gets a legal visa in Germany or Europe to stay, the first thing they do is go back to Pakistan, visit their family, go and settle their properties or just make holidays. So we should be very aware and think twice about it. Are they really pursued, or is this only a systematic settlement of people within Europe? And we should also not criminalize those people who are criticizing them as racist, because this is not racism. I'm also from Pakistani origin. I'm also Muslim, and I don't want to criticize a religion or someone who has other beliefs. I just want to say, if this other belief is going to dismantle your laws, your political structure, then this will be a very big danger also for your country. So Denmark should think twice about it if they are not making a bigger picture and also involve those who are criticizing this Jamaat and those who had very facing very hard time with this Jamaat, who were abused, mishandled and suppressed in Pakistan and also here in Europe. So I think Denmark is a liberal country, is a open-minded country. I think they should get a bigger picture out of this Jamaat, not only those who are supporting this Jamaat.
Mrs. Samina, thank you very much being with us, and we show you our support from each and every Danish because we love law, we love the human being, we love the human rights. Thank you very much for being with us. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.
सामान ये इंफॉर्मेशन का प्रोग्राम था जो कि बराह रास्त जर्मनी से पेश किया जा रहा था कोपेनहेगन की फ़ज़ाओं में। सामान हमारा काम है इंफॉर्मेशन देना, जहाँ से भी इंफॉर्मेशन मिलती है वो हम आपके सामने रखते हैं। सामान समीना खान के इंटरव्यू के बारे में कोई भी अपनी राय देना चाहे, आकर अपने ख्यालात का इज़हार करना चाहे, तो उसके लिए अदारा आपकी आवाज़ का टाइम हाज़िर है।
आवाज़ दिल की, म्यूज़िक की, सोच की और आपकी।